Hello, loves. We're going to go into the cards today because there's so many messages swirling around. Of course, I want to ask to bring forth what's the most beneficial for you at this time. So, whatever you see on the title will be what came through. And I just want to start by welcoming in, as always, all of our higher selves, our connection to the source of our creation, and our connection to Mother Earth. And again, I just want to bring forth the most beneficial messages at this time. I do feel multiple things that potentially want to come through. And since things are so very physical at this time, I am going to go right into the Light Seers Tarot. Okay, that card didn't even want to go back into the deck. And this is immediately signaling to me where we as a collective have been walking away and cleaning up the karmic energies on a deeper level. I've been feeling this collectively, but also seeing it both for the divine feminine and divine masculine collectives. And it feels like very much in this moment, the process that we are in. Recently, someone asked in the comments, what is a timeline shift? And it's a bit less mystical than it sounds like, really, in truth, in the sense that we can be going along on a trajectory and then we are like, that's like the way our life is going. And then we make a different decision and that changes our complete timeline. So, a couple examples could be that if you're, say, in a marriage or a long-term relationship, that has a very specific trajectory in that case in that co-creation. But if you choose to step away from that marriage or that long-term relationship, it shifts you onto a different trajectory, therefore a different timeline. And so if you are connected to someone, they're connected to you, or you're meant to meet up, that could potentially open up the timeline for you to reconnect, is one example. Another example is mm, I'll share one of my own. Right when I found out my mom was sick, the morning I woke up, I felt my whole life trajectory shifted. And I went from the focus that I was focusing on to completely focusing on the time I had left with my mom. So I went on a timeline shift in for that time. And thinking of it, something a lot of us can relate to is, say, when you're in school and you have childhood friends, or say in high school, you have friends and you guys are together every day, all the time, very close. And then, like, you go off to school or go to get jobs or start to have families. And then all of a sudden, you're on different trajectories, different timelines, and you might not see each other for 10 or 20 years. And then you sync back up on a timeline down the road. Okay. So we can come in and out of timelines and in and out of each other's lives, as an example. But my sense with this, if we are talking about the divine feminine and masculine collective, it does feel that there is a group of divine feminines and divine masculines counterparts that are in this process of really facing those shadows into the roots, freeing themselves, and preparing to come forward into their next timeline. So, when we look at this, some of the messages that have been coming through, because especially for the divine feminines who are for so long told, like, focus on yourself, get yourself together, like, work with the shadows, unravel what's no longer aligned. And this is all really important, not because we're meant to be ultra independent and alone forever, but specifically why we have been doing this work. One of the main reasons is that we had to unravel out of the distorted timelines, the things that were not true and really take the space and the time to get to know our true selves better and actually clear out what wasn't true for you or true within your connection to the divine masculine, so that when it comes back together, it's much clearer. Whatever you choose to do with your connection is up to you. However, that plays out in the physical world is up to the two of you. But this part of the mission, this part of the purpose of the transformation and the transmutation that you have been working on, the rebirth, has been about getting back to the true energy and the true origin. Of course, it was always there, but any of you can attest to the fact that humanity and a lot of us have felt quite buried. Well, I can speak on that for myself. I'm comfortable saying that. Each of you has your own experience and interpretation, but if you're here participating in my videos, chances are you are understanding what I'm sharing at this time. So, yeah, we're getting down to that physical connection. That's what I've been speaking about maybe for close to a year, that's what we've been prepping for. The physical embodiment is the most one of the most important parts, right? That's where unity conscious sacred union, that's where all of that energy actually lands. Okay, we've been working in the energies, in the spiritual, in the mental, in the emotional, and we're getting more deeply into the physical, relational, financial aspects of the material world, not because we're focusing on being materialistic, but we are human beings living in physical bodies. And so we have to attend to physicality if we actually want to have sacred union in our physical lives, in our day to day. Okay. And if you don't, no worries. That's your choice. That's your sovereign choice. But for those of you that do want that, this is where the collective is moving to, at least the portion of the collective that I'm connected to at this time. Okay. So the uncensoring and illumination that we have been working on has been a part of working in tandem, divine feminine and divine masculine, getting to the roots of what created the separation, the core separation wound, the core wound, the abandonment, the rejection, X, Y, and Z, and all of those. And as you have been healing that within yourself, regardless of how you identify, it's creating more and more space for more to be illuminated, more truth to open. And as we know, as many of you know, as we bring in more light, it shows maybe some more shadows that are needing to get cleared up. And I'm comfortable with stating that because I'm experiencing it and I'm also witnessing it with multiple people. Okay. So here we go. Let's see what wants to come next with this. I feel actually a message for the feminine and the masculine wanting to come through. And as always, no matter what, you can listen to these messages for yourself, but also as we've spoke about, the internal union energies are becoming so potent for some, there really isn't a separation and you're feeling the truth in the messages for yourself. So, or in your connection. All right. So for the divine sacred feminines, we have the world card. Again, the world literally landing into the physical, right? This feels like if I look at this, this is like clearing up and moving more clearly into the energy that you've been working towards. Now, you might ask, I've felt this. I felt this, and then why am I back into some of this heaviness and this tiredness? I feel like it's time to come out of the cocoon, but at the same time, it's like I get pulled back in. Excuse my voice is going through a bit of a shift at the moment. Mm. And this is where we are building the muscle to actually be able to sustain the sacred union in the physical world. Okay, we've spoke about this as you're working with the internal union energies and you're embodying, you're able to hold your full true energy even into the roots, even into the shadows. And this is where that be in this world, but not of it energy makes perfect sense. This is what this is all about. And a few weeks back, when I spoke of be in this world and be of it, it wasn't to eradicate or eliminate be in this world and not of it. The truth is, that's exactly what we're here to do, to embody the new. But then at the same time, it's also important that we're comfortable building momentum, embodying into who we are, because this is about organic ascension embodiment, right? Getting to that true timeline. And if there's ever any doubts, you go directly to source, God, Jesus, however you connect with the source of your creation, Great Spirit, right? You connect with that. You connect to the space on earth, our home, right? Because this was the home we were gifted from our source and the world, right? You find and you orient to your sovereign place. And as this expands, there may be some more karma or karmic energies or sabotage energies or shadows that you're facing so that you can retrieve all of your true energy. And if this doesn't feel right for you, then let it go. But for me, this has been the case, and I'm here to share my perspective, what I've been learning as I am guided by source. Okay. So it's up to you always to discern what feels true for you. But for me, I will be clear. Anytime I am guided to go into the shadows, it's really an essence of retrieving more and more of myself and completing out those old contracts where at one time maybe I did have to shut it down or I did have to wall off or run away because I didn't have the skill set that I have now. Okay. And if you're ever uncertain, I'd be more than happy to work with you in a one-on-one session. Or if you want to go deeper on your own, I have this series where you can explore that with a bit of different type of support through those guided meditations and energy work. Okay. But the biggest thing is that each time we face a deeper layer of the shadows or go deeper into the roots, deeper into our embodiment of whatever was once avoided, that's what allows us to be more present in our bodies on the earth, which the more we are present, the more we are in our power, my loves, the more magnificently magnetic you become. Okay? So, avoiding shadows, it sounds good, right? On some level. And sometimes things are not meant for you to go down. But if you are avoiding parts of yourself or parts of your own shadow, that actually can keep things stuck and looping. And so, again, I'll let you discern because there are those two options. Sometimes it's not yours to do, sometimes it's the very thing for you to do. How do you know? You go directly to your higher power, your source, and you ask, if this is for me to do, then I'm open to doing it. If not, then I'm letting it go. And then you ask for clarity and direction on what to do next, whether it's on your own or seeking support or whatever have you. Okay. But this part is up to you always. All right. So now let's pull some cards for the masculine. Okay. So we have the Knight of Cups. And with this, like walking away of the karmic energies and the Knight of Cups coming forward, what I'm actually feeling is where the masculine collective, as they're clearing up their karmic energies, as they're facing their shadows, it's actually revealing their true heart to themselves. so that they can connect with what it is that they are actually wanting in their life. And what's coming through is a lot of times this card is like the romantic knight, the knight that's in love with being in love. But what I'm feeling, the part that was the distortion was previously where the masculines relied on the external world to tell them what romance, love, and intimacy meant and how it was performed. And now, as they're moving through that smoke and mirrors, they're actually connecting to their true heart and their true inner romantic and learning and realizing what it is that they actually want and what is actually true to them when it comes to love, partnership, romance, and intimacy. And again, as that clears, as those clouds clear, as the masculines face those shadows head on and actually trust themselves over the programming in the collective, this actually makes the masculine highly electric and tuned in to the feminine that is a match to what it is that he truly wants and not all of the distractions that have been distorting that truth. And what's also coming through is a big part of this process, as we know, for both the feminine and masculine, is becoming comfortable with both your inner feminine and masculine within, where you're no longer suppressing any parts of you, not suppressing yourself physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and literally allowing all of your true energy to come online makes you magnetic and electric for that sacred union partnership. Okay. What actually is divinely aligned? And as I'm saying this, it's like, if you're going to your source, if you're connecting with your truth and you're embodying it and you're walking it on a daily basis or, working towards it, right? Because we're always growing and learning, this is aligning you with what you've been asking for. And if it hasn't quite shown up, and you are feeling a bit stuck, again, this is where it can be helpful to go in and ask to illuminate the blind spots. Thing instead of projecting it out on, oh, the masculine's not doing what he needs to do or she needs to do, or the feminine's not doing what they need to do. It's like, okay, what is actually your part of the shared space of the equation? And if you're feeling something in the energies or you're being guided to work with something, that is because some of it is yours to do. And sometimes, again, you might feel it and you may be guided to just be still, and surrender and allow the energies to move. And sometimes you may be guided to take very specific actions. And when you are in internal union, you may and most likely will be doing a combo of both: time of stillness, time of action, time of surrender, time of inspired building. Okay. There is one more that wants to come in overall for the collective with this. Me talks, repairing the body, mind, and the spirit. So this is just, to me, when I see this coupled with the message that we're getting, whatever it is that you're working on, whether it's physically in your body or in your home environment or in your yard or in your community, in your relationships, in your finances, in your physical health or mental or emotional health, whichever area or areas of work you are of your life you're working on, what I'm sensing is I'm seeing maybe a little bit of each of those is getting like a bit of a detox, a cleanup, a shore up. And even what's coming is, even what I'm sensing is some of you actually had really good rhythms with all of that. Maybe physically you were doing well, financially you've had things, your ducks in a row, and you've been doing well. And then all of a sudden, another wave comes up for you to work on, and then you're recalibrating and finding your new stabilization point. And you might be like, wow, but I've worked on this. Why is this layer coming up? Why is there more to clean up? My loves, because you are growing to your next level. Whatever you've been doing was exactly what you needed to do. You have those skills. And now what is being revealed is your next container that's bigger and more conducive to who you're becoming. And so you're doing a bit of detoxing and cleaning out, restoring your energy, retrieving more of who you are, cleaning up that within yourself. And for those that identify, you're cleaning up more in the shared space to allow a cleaner pathway for you to reconnect or to connect more clearly with your counterpart if you're already in connection in the physical world. Okay. This is not a, oh, we get into union and everything is perfect and there's no more work, right? That's in a level where things just, they begin at a new level. That's where you're actually co-creating and still working through your processes of your evolution, of your ascension, of your growth, of your embodiment. Okay. So I'm gonna pull, I know I said I was gonna get one more, but I do feel one more wants to actually come out on the me talks. And where is that? Because I'm really guided to the mystical shaman for this. Okay. Let's see what we got for the mystic. There's like more deeper messages that are wanting to come out. Okay. Wild woman. I want to read from the book for this one. I do feel, before I read from the book, just out of the gate, given everything that we've shared, it's like this idea of breaking through more of the shadows and into our light. It's interesting because it's all about cleaning up and stabilizing. And this wild woman to me represents where there's actually a safe container for all of your energy to be unleashed in a safe way. When we go into looking at the shadows and doing deeper me toxes, again, what we're doing is actually creating more space for more of that soul essence to be expressed in physical form. Okay. So, for those of you that felt a little bit stifled or suppressed, or like things aren't quite matching what you know you want and what you desire and what you're capable of, whatever it is that's coming up for you now to be resolved is a big part of probably what was ever in the way of this full expression. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to read, like I said. I don't often do that, but when the wild woman dances into your reading, she reminds you of the essence of authenticity and freedom. Divested of all social constraints and cultural conformity, the wild woman holds up a mirror to your essential self, the true essence of who you are and who you're meant to become. She is a reminder of the bright light within each of us that gets dimmed by the restrictions imposed upon us by the expectations of society. She reminds us that in order to be fully present to life, we must uncover the light and let it shine brightly regardless of the perceived consequences. I love this. Literally exactly what we have been doing in the Uncensored and Illumination series. The Uncensored was all about getting into those blind spots, and the illumination is like, okay, we're in there, let's light it up. And one of my favorite parts that's been coming in the illumination is that it isn't just about inviting the higher self energy in, but actually shining a spotlight on the parts of us that were dimmed within throughout our lives and actually giving them space and grace to shine, to illuminate, my loves. Okay. So, this is exactly the collective energies that I've been working on, that I've been picking up on. And again, the more light we can bring deeper into the shadows, the more of our essence we have to work with in the present. And when we look at what these connections are about, why would we want anything less but our full capacity? Because if we want the full capacity of our counterpart to meet us, then we have to step up and hold our part as well. Correct? All right, my loves. I'm going to leave it there. All my information will be in the pinned comment. I will probably most likely be on very soon with a video for my members, for any of you that are interested in that. If you would like to participate in any of those series, they are over on my library on my website. And you, as always, you can put it in the comments and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. I would love to hear from you, how you're doing, how this is feeling, how this is resonating for you. And I'm sending you lots of love and hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Take care. Much love. Peace.